Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Kansas City Public Schools pre-K through 12th grade information session. My name is Jennifer Wolfsey. I am the Family Recruitment and Retention Coordinator in the Admissions Department, and I'm thrilled. We have a couple people here. We also are doing this live stream, so I will remind you that we have folks here in person, but we also have a few folks online on our live stream as well. And I want to also let everybody know that we will be recording this session and putting it up on our YouTube channel. So if you have friends or family that you want to share it with, it will probably take us about a week to get it up there, but we'll also be posting, along with the video, the deck that you're about to see. So you don't need to take any, we didn't print it out because it's 72 slides. Might be a little intimidating, but we get through it fast. We have a lot of content that we want to share with you. So welcome. Let's see. Let me get myself organized here for a second. All right, so the agenda. We're going to walk you through schools in the Kansas City Public School area. We also want to take you through soup to nuts from pre-K to 12th grade, academics, arts, athletics, activities. We have a lot to cover in student supports. We'll briefly at the end of this go through what is the enrollment process, because believe it or not, school year 26-27, the enrollment actually will kick off in November 8th. A little bit earlier for those of you that are already KCPS parents, you have a priority window, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But we'll go through that and then answer any questions. And we also do have, for those that are in person, a raffle. So if you'll fill that ticket out, we'll raffle here at the end for a couple of items. Okay. I did mention that in Kansas City Public Schools, you have lots of choices. And so I'm going to walk you through what those choices are from a Kansas City Public Schools point of view, from pre-K to 12th grade. In our school district, in our boundaries, we have two types of schools. We have neighborhood schools, which many of you may already be familiar with. They are a lot of the times the schools that you went through. They're assigned by home address, great because they're very close to your house. There are no admissions criteria. You just enroll at any point in time. And the note is that for those of you that are P4 students, pre-K 4 students, we automatically roll you up to your neighborhood elementary school. On the signature side, signature schools, they were magnet schools back in the day. They have themes. The ones that we still have are the themes that kind of resonated with folks. They're a little bit different in that you do have to apply to them, and there is a lottery that we run to be assigned a seat. They're great for specialized learning, and I will go through the themes in a couple of slides here. There are some eligibility requirements, mostly at the upper grades, and the application does open in November. This year it opens on November 8th, but a note on this, if you are a current KCPS student, you have a window from October 27th through October 31st. It's 5 days where you can actually apply for those signature schools, and you apply, and if you meet the criteria, then you can enroll. So you get a window ahead of the public enrollment, and that's important to note. So we'll briefly go through this. Neighborhood school feeder pattern. I'm going to give you an example here in the auditorium. So you'll see that you have an elementary school, Hartman Elementary, in our southern boundary. That would be your elementary. The feeder central middle with this blue boundary is your feeder central, is your feeder middle school. And then southeast high, because you're down here in the pink, is your high school. So the feeder pattern would be Hartman, central middle, and southeast high. And so that's how you use the map to kind of understand what your feeder pattern is. At the end, when we talk about enrollment, we'll show you how to look up your neighborhood school. I won't read this word for word, but I did want to highlight what some of the benefits are of neighborhood schools. They really are, as I say, it's part of your village. Your students get to go to school with their friends from the block, and there's a great sense of belonging, and they see each other moving from elementary to middle to high. And most of all, it's close to home, which is a big benefit. Signature schools are the theme schools from the Magnet days. They fall under these categories. We have African-Centered Studies, AC Prep, down here in the south. We have 2 Montessori's, Border Star and Holiday. They're also located in the south boundary. Anybody can attend these schools. They don't have a boundary, remember. We have 2 language immersion, Carver and Foreign Language Academy, and they're located in the blue in the central section. We have the Fine and Performing Arts Middle and High School, right here in the middle, right by King. They're in the blue. And then we have the Lincoln Middle and Lincoln College Prep High School for college prep. And it's in this section right here in the purple. Those are the signature schools. They do, again, remember you apply to those. They have different age or grade ranges. Some have eligibility requirements. Most, as you enter at older grades, are going to be looking at attendance, behavior, and grades. So 90% attendance, no chronic discipline issues, and usually either a 2.5 or 3.0 GPA in your core classes. But the best part about this is that at KCPS, every student gets these things. Free bus transportation, no matter if it's a neighborhood school or a signature school. Free breakfast and lunch. Free before and after care at our elementary schools. A very rigorous curriculum with one-to-one technology from K through 12. And then supports for students so that their academic, emotional, and physical well-being is supported. So I'm going to transition it over to Jamie for pre-K.
Thank you. That would be great. Thanks. My name is Jamie Evans Arreola. I'm the pre-K mental health consultant and also a parent of a 5th grader and 8th grader at FLA. I'm pretty excited to be here and speak with you all about the pre-K options. So we have Head Start, we have signature schools that she already mentioned, and then we have our neighborhood pre-Ks that are located in 11 of our elementary schools. And so you can see our maps up there. They're all good. Pre-K is free. It also offers the same breakfast and lunch for students. The only thing that every student doesn't get is transportation for pre-K. We use creative curriculum. It is an evidence-based curriculum, and it's the leading whole child curriculum for pre-K students. Teachers use intentional strategies to facilitate project-based learning, which means that they are following the children's lead on what they're interested in and developing a classroom project to really dig into what the children want to see. So it could be pizza, it could be circles, it could be just about anything that captures their interest. Projects can last anywhere from a week to all year long, depending on the children's, how much they get into it, how deep they want to go, and how much of the class is really engaged. The curriculum touches on every aspect of development, and the most important of those is social emotional learning. So it is the most important indicator of kindergarten readiness. So our pre-K focuses really heavily on the social emotional learning. That means things like self-regulation, the ability to get along with others, those social skills. We use a program called Conscious Discipline. It's a trauma-informed approach that teaches specific skills, not only for the students, but also for adults to work on working together. It's based in brain science and helps understand that brain-body connection. children in pre-K are going to be working on gross and fine motor skills. So fine motor skills not only are for writing, or I guess I shouldn't say, writing is one of the main fine motor skills that we're focused on. And we're doing that a lot of times through art and sensory play that's developing those specific little detailed movements with their fingers. Go ahead. Math and science skills, through the project-based learning, whatever they are into, they're digging into the different types of ways that science and math get incorporated. So counting, sorting, measuring, all of those things are used by the teachers intentionally to advance those math and science concepts. Literacy and language, lots and lots of exposure to different genres of literature, different texts, writing practice, not only their own letters, or letters in their own name, but also numbers, shapes, and then also through language, their ability to express themselves, communicate, understand language, and understand text and how text works, where's text used. We use it's called DRDP, it is the desired results of developmental profile. So it looks at these 10 different areas of development, and students are measured at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year, so that we can see progress over time in each of these different domains of development. And then for our English learners, our multilingual learners, there's also a domain looking at their English language development over the year. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have later on about pre-K.
Hi, thanks. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Connie Moore, the Director of Elementary Curriculum, and I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking to you about elementary academics. So kindergarten to fifth grade for English language arts, we use Wonders. This is our second year of the adoption. It's very heavy in writing, so students have the ability to write every day in what we call the Reading Writing Companion. For social studies, the items that you see there is our Studies Weekly. That is for grades 2 through 5. It's kind of like the old school when you used to get those like Times for Kids back in the day when I was in school. It's just a weekly newspaper. So it's in a newspaper format, and they can read, write in these, and this is our second year of implementation for grades 3 through 5. Second grade just started this year. So for fifth K to 5 math, we have Go Math, and it uses a lot of pictures and visual models. So it goes from the pictorial to concrete. It encourages students to do a lot of writing in math, which is what our focus is, writing across the curriculum. For science, we use Discovery Education. Grades K2 uses Mystery Science. That's the part of Discovery Education that they use. And then 3 through 5 use Textbook, and we have a lab manual for those students as well. The transition from elementary to middle school. So we make that transition. Sixth grade still in most of the buildings, so they are there, but we try to move them into the middle school curriculum. We use Reveal Math for math. Study Sync is the ELA curriculum, and science is Discovery Education.
All right. So one of the things that KCPS has implemented, it was a part of its Blueprint 2030, which came out of the strategic plan, is the Beyond Four Walls experience, which is trying to get and ensure that every student K through 12 has the opportunity to get outside of the classroom where they can connect what they're learning to some practical applications. So I just wanted to show you what you can see. They each get to visit, starting with the pumpkin patch, which many of us have done, all the way through 12th grade. It is a little bit different. It is a New York City trip, and it is application-based. But really, they try to hit pretty much everything, and this is a guaranteed for every student that they get to see these and participate in these trips as a part of the experience. So switching over to middle school academics, just basically wanting to point out that, this is the time when students are actually figuring out who they are, what they like, what they may be good at, what they might be wanting to pursue after school. So essentially, when it comes to academics, you have your core academic areas, and then what they get a chance to do is explore through kind of an exploration wheel in different electives, and we'll talk about some of those on the next slide. One of the other things that they begin in 8th grade is the individual career and academic plan. I believe this is actually kind of dictated by DESE at the state level, but it's a multi-year plan guide that helps them with their career goals. It also will, I believe, help them when they're mapping out what classes they'll want to make sure that they take in high school. And we'll have counselors later, so we can talk about that with them as well. Oh, thought I got that out. So I just was mentioning some of the other things that students can take advantage of in their elective courses. So even some of our middle school students can earn high school credits. At all of our schools, we have Algebra 1. Right now at Lincoln Middle School, the students can take physics first in lieu of 8th grade. And at a few of our schools, they can take world language courses. And I don't know, but I would hope that that's an area we might be expanding over time. I'm looking at Deanne. And I had mentioned that students also will get to explore things beyond school, what careers and whatnot they'll be interested in. They can explore that in 8th grade. And then we also, in Kansas City Public Schools, utilize Project Lead the Way. And those courses are located, CMS is Central Middle School, NEMS is Northeast Middle School. Those are our 2 neighborhood middle schools. Then you have Lincoln Middle. They all have application creator, design, and modeling. At Lincoln Middle, they also have the Green Ag, and then medical detectives at all 3 as well. So high school, I'm not going to go into the deep academics here. What I wanted to show was that this is a typical schedule of what students would take 9th through 12th grade to get to the necessary 24 credits that they would need in order to graduate from high school. And so it basically shows you, they need 4 English, 3 math, 3 science, 3 social studies, 1 PE, 1 fine arts, but you have 7 electives that you then, and those are kind of represented by the yellow, that students would work with their counselors, with their family, to basically figure out what do they want to take. And we'll hear more here in a minute about some of the college prep opportunities that students have available, as well as some of our CTE. All right, speaking of CTE, we have Ms. Erica Mabian.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Erica Mabian. I'm the former Assistant Director of Career and Technical Education, which manual is housed at 1215 East Truman Road. This school houses our career programs, and there are 12 programs that we currently offer that students can participate in. They can choose which one that they have an aptitude for to enhance their skill and their interest. We have an AM and a PM session. So based on students' schedules that they have at their school, they decide on whether AM is their session or PM. And as you can see on our growth, we had 315 students last year and almost 400 students this year. It's becoming the place to be to explore your talent and your aptitude. because the world is ever changing, we are changing with it. And so we have some other programs that we're interested in bringing in, and those industry needs are always ever changing. And so we're trying to keep up with that. So the 3 programs at the bottom are ones that we're interested in hosting to keep up with what is going on in our local area and the jobs and the interests for those industries. The second slide that I'm going to speak about is real world learning. This is currently the program that I participate in and I get to serve. So for serving for real world learning students, I serve from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. And so for real world learning, you're like, what is that? So I try to enhance the learning that is taking place in whatever curriculum areas that students are doing. And or I bring projects to the schools in order for students to bring a lot of different learning together. So for instance, market value assets includes something called a client connected project. And having market value assets is not a checkbox for KCPS. It allows students to gain soft skills that they can use in other areas or bring a lot of different skills together. So this coming month, we had a challenge for our elementary schools to develop a book nook replication of where they would like to have that in their home. So just like everyone else, when you're going to do an interior design, you want to reimagine what that looks like. Students were able to use Canva. They had that type of item in there that they could use that digitally, or they drew pictures. They were able to do presentations, which means that they're doing their listening, speaking, and all of the articulations of what makes students great as they are being little people. That is a challenge that's sponsored by J.E. Dunn, so they were the client. And we were able to utilize all of those things that we would see maybe in our high school, middle school range, but actually our elementary students were able to do a phenomenal job on that project. And we have some bicycles and some other prizes available for them because they were great. When we think about students progressing through their career, the research is telling us that students are making judgments about themselves personally and their likes, their dislikes, and what they're capable of starting around in 4th and 5th grade. So for us to decide on what we want them to choose, we have to go way down here to the other elements in elementary school and embed those types of experiences with them. So again, I know early childhood does a really great job of those things, and we just keep that bus moving, and we continue to put things in front of them, and that happens to our Project Lead the Way programs and all of those. So my personal work is just to work with the teachers in the school to enhance what's going on in those programs. So another program that we have that I'm a product of is Grow Your Own. And in order to have great teachers, we also need to formulate the actualization that I can be great and I can be like you from students that we work with every day. And so KCPS has saw that that is a need to have, and we can cultivate that with the great people that we have. And we have those programs currently in 4 of our locations of our schools. And so students go through those programs. They have experiences. If they're interested in being a teacher, they can be hired by me. We have an internship program, and students get placed at the elementary sites for summer to help with the programs. And so that really reiterates, this is what I want to do. I'm getting to practice those things, and I'm getting to have some personal fulfillment. So another thing that I am able to do through Real World Learning is to also help our aspiring teachers go through that training. So Real World Learning can pay for their sub-certification process, the class that they have to take. And so we have some students that are currently working with that, and they're working with their teacher in order to have that sub-certification. They're going to graduate and be able to work with us continuously and come back in various roles. And when they graduate from college, the last bullet point here says that we'll be ready to welcome them back, and they can come home and be teachers again in the land that cultivated them. So that is all the things about Grow Your Own.
So at 21 years old, I graduated from the University of Kansas, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. But with that, I graduated with student loans. And now my work here in Kansas City Public Schools, we want to make sure we give our kids the opportunities, the chances, the access, so they don't graduate with as much student debt or any debt at all. And our Director of College Access, Ms. Joyce Wynn Hernandez, here in a few minutes will talk more about that. But at each and every one of our high schools, we offer AP and dual credit classes. College classes, ladies and gentlemen, for free. Take advantage of them. I have a daughter who's a sophomore at Lincoln, and I can't stress enough to her. Maybe take as many classes as you can that are offered at Lincoln. And to our kids, whether you're at Central, whether you're at Southeast, whether you're at East, each and every one of our high school campuses offer AP and dual credit classes. Ms. Wolfsey, you can see a quick little list here of what classes we offer, but also I have a list broken down by school specifically for AP and dual credit classes. So depends on where your student is at. I can give you a list that tells you what classes we offer at that school. Go ahead, Ms. Wolfsey. Also, another opportunity, once again, access, opportunities. But Ms. Wolfsey said it best, choice. And that choice is Early College Academy. So you have this other option. When you're a junior, you can attend Early College Academy, and you can go to MCC here at Penn Valley or at UMKC, and you can graduate from MCC with your high school diploma and your associates at the same time. Or you can go to UMKC if you're up for that challenge. The point is, get in there, take advantage of it. KCPS will pay up to 30 credit hours through the Early College Academy. Great opportunities for each and every one of our babies who deserve these opportunities.
Hi there, my name is Joyce Wynn Hernandez. I'm a Director of College Access, and it kind of felt like my resume was just up there. I was a AP teacher and dual credit teacher and IB teacher, and I really enjoy the work that I am doing because it kind of converges with the academic achievement and then also with the post-secondary planning of our students. I have one of the coolest jobs because I get to connect students with free money, and just to kind of work with the students and work with families, that's really rewarding. So we are currently hosting a lot of FAFSA events. We hosted one this weekend at East High School, and we had over 100 people show up. It was a great turnout. We support our students as they apply for college applications. We get our students ready for those big tests like the ACT and the SAT. And we just support students in every level as they plan for what they're planning to do after they graduate high school.
And we also offer non-traditional pathways that offer a bit more flexibility, online, evening classes. And one of my favorite programs on the far right is the adult education program, which offers the HISET or GED program, but also offers and serves close to about, 400 or 500 students for adult ESL classes. So one of our crown jewels in our district is our non-traditional pathways.
Hi, I am Dr. Sarah Lurie. I'm a school counselor. Our school counseling department is led by Dr. Powell, and we have a school counseling advisory committee, and I am part of that, and so we are here to talk about school counselors. School counselors are certified licensed educators trained to improve student success by implementing what we call the comprehensive school counseling programs. That kind of outlines how we operate the counseling program at each school, at each level. What we do is we provide academic, career, and social, emotional support to all students. So we help students with things like apply academic achievement strategies if they're struggling, manage emotions and interpersonal skills. We also teach those skills, plan for secondary secondary options like college, military, or workforce. Another important piece that we do is we collaborate with families, teachers, and the community because we want to promote student success and ensure equality and access for every student. I'm an elementary counselor, and these are some of the things that elementary counselors do. We focus on early development, helping students build their academic self-concept and their confidence and life skills. We support the development of decision-making, communication, and character value development in our students. We also help provide early identification of academic or social emotional needs, collaborating with teachers and families to help remove obstacles or barriers to learning. One of the things that we do at the elementary level is we get into the classrooms a lot to focus on social skills and academic success, and we teach that to all of the students. We also offer short-term counseling for things like emotional support, and then we can also do referrals for any additional resources that the students may need or the families need.
Hello, my name is Andrew Clay. I'm also a part of the counseling advisory committee. When you get to middle school, the middle school counselors are a little bit different. They start doing the advising in academics of like choosing your electives. If you want to do honors classes, things of that nature. They also do help with the transitions from childhood to adolescence. We do also provide groups. We do small groups. We can do interventions. We can do mediations. And in the middle school, we're still practicing those like skills that we're like trying to teach them of like, hey, how to de-escalate. How can we respond to this situation differently? Like, hey, we also help with like mediations and things of that nature, while also communicating with parents, teachers, trauma clinicians, restorative justice, the whole 9 yards of stakeholders. And then in 8th grade, that's when we start the ICAP, and that's going to roll over into the high school. Which in the high school, we're more focused on graduation and what's your plan after graduation. Like, do we want to go to the military? Do we want to go to college? Do we even know what we want to do? And like some of those things that we have is we have Rethink Ed, we have Missouri Connections, which will kind of help us figure out what the students' interests are and how we can go from there. Also in the high school, we do academic planning. Hey, I want to graduate early. I want to go to UMKC. I want to be valedictorian. Like those are all the things that we help the students with. We help with college applications. We can help with resumes. We can help with scholarships. As in today in the high school, all the high schoolers did their ACT. That is usually ran by the counselor. We also provide emotional support, and we also work collaboratively with the principals, trauma clinicians, everyone that is in touch with the student to make sure they have a successful high school career.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josie Herrera, and I'm the Executive Director of Student Support Services. I'm going to go over a couple things, including school safety. This doesn't fall under my department. This would actually be somebody with our KCPS security team, but I can speak to this. So I wanted to share with you safety drills in your schools. Every school in the classroom and every space, teaching space, has one of these red notebooks. It's got everything that they need for all of the drills to ensure that our students and staff are safe. It's so easy to use that even a substitute could go right to the tab and figure out what they need to do. Whenever we have a lockdown drill or a fire drill or a tornado drill, this book is not only the resource, but it also notifies our team. If I'm missing a student, I put it on red. If I have all of my students accounted for, I put it on green, and we can identify students very quickly in an emergency. Security entrance. Right now, our district is under something called the Stop the Prop campaign. You will begin to see many of these throughout our buildings on the exterior doors. What this is, it is a promotion to remind all staff, visitors, even delivery trucks, we do not prop our doors open. There's so much research in the past, our countries with gun shootings and the numbers, so many of those have come through entrance doors that were just simply propped temporarily. So we are doing a district-wide campaign. So look for these signs. Please don't prop the door if you happen to visit a school. School resource officers, want to let you know they are on call 24/7. So they are patrolling on weekends and evenings, checking out our buildings and making sure everyone is safe. They have excellent, return time. I think they are down to 3 minutes to respond to an emergency at schools that don't even have a full-time. So our elementaries don't have full-time security, but they can get there in 3 minutes. Our average KC public police department is actually 4 minutes. So they are faster than our police department. Great trained officers there. Hall Pass, we ensure that all of our visitors go through our Hall Pass system. You have to give your driver's license as soon as you walk into the building to ensure safety and security, and it does a very quick background check to make sure no visitors in our building are on the, what is it? I do too. Yes, the list that they should not be around students if they are on the sex offender list. Thank you. I couldn't think of that list, yes. And then our contagious system is this little badge here. All of our employees at all of our buildings have an emergency badge that we push in an emergency. It is live. You hit it up to 7 times, and there are systems throughout all of our buildings, including the BOE. If there were ever an emergency, it detects exactly where the emergency is coming from. Staff also have the app, and it's on their computer, so they immediately can know if there is an intruder in the building or if there's any kind of emergency within the building. That is a great investment for our district. A little bit about student support roles. These are the titles of some people within our schools that will support your students. Everyone from a teacher, which is considered a tier 1, down to trauma-sensitive school clinician, which is a tier 2 and tier 3. I will explain briefly a little bit about the tiers in just a moment, but you can see from 1 to 3, 1 is everyone, 2 are some, and 3 are more selective, higher needs for a 3. This is a list of some of those tier 1 interventions and supports that you see the teacher on the left, everything from morning meeting to establishing strong connections. Curriculum has SEL support and emotional support team. Again, tier 1, the entire school is getting this. This is school-wide support. All students will receive these tier 1 supports. Tier 2, that's the next level. So perhaps that tier 1, we identify a student needs just a little bit more support. We would consider that a tier 2, and you can see some of the teacher supports, and then also from our emotional support team, everyone from our counseling that you heard about, to the SEL wellness screener, to restorative circles, but this is tier 2. And then here is tier 3. Again, these are a select few group of students who need intensive support. The teacher is doing some more tracking progress. Our multi-tiered support system is in all of our schools. Our emotional support team, there you see our clinician. We do have certified trauma clinicians available in all of our buildings. We also have Hazel Hart, which is a free therapy student offering that all students can access free therapy at home or at school. And you can see some of the other high emotional support systems there. Great, and I'll be around for a little bit if you have any questions afterwards. Thanks.
All right, everybody, I'm Joe Jarrett. I'm the Director of Technology for the district. Here to talk about some of that one-to-one technology we have access to that was referenced earlier in those slides. So this is a year of some first for us. One of those first is we are officially K-12 Apple across the district as far as our student-facing technology is concerned. Pre-K has a set of iPads in each classroom, so 5 iPads. We are aware that we don't want our pre-K students on screens all the time, so they just have a limited amount of iPads in those rooms. K-12, they are all one-to-one iPads, so there is one iPad for every single student. K-6, our elementary sites, those iPads are on carts. So kids use those throughout the day, put those back on the carts, those stay in the school, charge, all that good stuff. For our 7 through 12 students, they are assigned an iPad, and those iPads go home with the student. So those are their iPads at school, at home, to, hopefully be doing their homework with, all those good things. And a good part of that is we are part of the Verizon Innovative Learning Schools, kind of known internally as VILS, V-I-L-S. That gets us LTE-enabled iPads, which is basically just every iPad has built-in internet, built-in cell service. So those kids, no matter where they are, bus, home, wherever, they have access to the internet to hopefully, again, be doing homework on those iPads. We also have esports. We piloted last year at 4 sites. This year, we are able to stand that up at every single secondary site, so all middle and high schools will have an esports team before the school year is over, mostly this fall, but all schools by the spring. They are using a combination of Windows-based, computers to play some games, as well as Nintendo Switches to play every kid's favorite so far, Smash Bros. And then as part of our Verizon Innovative Learning Schools initiative as well, every secondary site, so again, every middle school, high school, gets to get a STEM kit, which you see some of those being used in those pictures there. They could choose different kits, so it depends on the school, but that allows the kids to do kind of more innovative things like broadcasting, podcasting, robotics, some stuff that they normally wouldn't really have access to throughout the school day. And then we are aware there is a lot of technology in our building, so we also want to make sure we have a good balance. So we don't want kids to just come in at first bell, be on their devices all day till last bell. So we are really looking at a purposeful use of technology, so really balancing that screen time. We don't want this technology to replace the teachers. We want the technology to enhance the instruction, to supplement the instruction. So we have put out some guidance on that, as well as making sure the students know how to use their devices properly. They're not using them for bullying or cheating or some of those other things that could be bad with technology. So we also utilize Common Sense's digital citizenship curriculum, and that is at every single elementary and middle school and high school site. And then really looking to lean on the families. If you get the KCPS email, some of that communication went out a couple of weeks ago, really looking at not only we're trying to balance technology use at school, but also at home as well.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Adriana Marshall, and I'm the District Fine and Performing Arts Coordinator. And I just want to share all the cool things that we have going on in dance, theater, vocal music, instrumental music, and also visual arts. So firstly, we have a lot of community partners. We feel like with fine arts, we need a village, and so we have a lot of professionals who come in our buildings to provide lessons. And we also have a lot of hands-on field trips and also different artists who come and do collaborations with our students. Next click. For instrumental music, we have a lot going on right now. We have a 4th through 12th grade curriculum for orchestra, for band, and as well as choir, where our students, they first start K3, where they're learning those fundamental skills, where they have access to keyboards and different percussive instruments. And then in the 4th grade, they get to choose if they're gonna be a band kid, an orchestra kid, or they say, you know what, my instrument is my voice, and they stay with their general music teacher, and they start having choir classes starting in the 4th grade. Good, next click. And with dance, we have dance at most of our secondary locations. We partner with the Kansas City Friends of Alvin Ailey, and we have those very high skilled expertise teaching artists to come in and provide classes during the school day, which is pretty awesome because a lot of us dance moms know it's a lot of work to do after school. So being able to provide that to our kids during the school day is quite remarkable. We also put on a lot of theater events. We actually partner right now with the Kansas City Lyric Opera. And this partnership has allowed us to have theater classes in most of our neighborhood and our signature schools. So this chart here just kind of shows that we are offering band and orchestra and choir and art and some dance in all of our elementary buildings. We have a 4th through 12th grade curriculum, which is now in the third year of the fine arts expansion. And we're really seeing some of the results from the students who start in band in 4th grade and now get that leg up. So now in 6th grade, when they get their brass or their woodwinds, they're sounding wonderful. And also having classes this early in the elementary level is helping our students be able to compete once they get to secondary schools. So for middle school, we are expanding on those offerings, really making sure that we're meeting the child where they're at with their interests so they have another part of their school day. So a lot of our campuses were offering graphic design, ceramics, various levels of choir, band, orchestra, and also dance classes. And then on the high school level, we just expand that out really a lot more, especially with our visual arts. We are offering most of the classes that they need to graduate and have their AP or IB portfolio. We want to make sure that our students have an asset to which they could audition for a college and get that scholarship because they have such a high level of artistic expression and value within their school day. All right, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Marshall. I think it's funny. I'm standing in for the athletic department, and I have to tell you, I was not an athletic kid, but I do know a lot about our athletics. So let's start with elementary sports. So what I think is great, they've been very intentional in the athletic department about trying to get athletic sports at the elementary level, specifically in our after-school programs. So these are programs that through our partnerships with Della Lamb, with Link, and Boys and Girls Club, they are actually able to offer these at very little cost. I think most of them are at no cost to the families. Currently, you see what we're offering. I've mentioned some of the partnerships. We also have others with the Royals. And I believe they did implement the Basketball League and RBI with the Royals. So what parents do, if you're an elementary parent, is, and I do believe this QR code may be old. I'll have to get the new one. But essentially, when you go in, there's a way to sign up for these through Link, and you would just register your child for the sport that you are interested in participating. Kind of to the point Dr. Marshall made about when you offer arts, specifically instruments at a younger age, and then the students matriculate to middle, and you start to see the difference that makes. The same has been said about what's going on in sports. When the students can begin to be exposed to the different sports at a younger level and also then play together with friends, then when they matriculate up to middle and to high, you really do begin to see it in the level of play. So these are just a listing of our middle school and high school sports for our boys and girls, some of which are also co-ed. Another point is that we do have athletic trainers on site at every high school. This is something new that we were doing. Honest Game is a platform, and the counselors now will use this platform to actually help students monitor proactively and plan. If a student is interested in becoming academically eligible for a particular sport, be it at the NAIA or NCAA level. So this is just something that is helping to bridge counseling and athletics, really to help motivate students and give them also to the point that Dr. Marshall made, which is maybe access to scholarship and some post-secondary access. These are the athletic directors. If you have students that are interested in the different sports at the different levels, you may contact them directly. Just ask us how, but this is the list of those. And also something new, I think this is the second or third year that they will be doing it, but KCPS does put on a spring combine for students, basically to get them more exposure. One of the things and this list could have gone off the page, just so you know, but as a parent myself, I think it was Jamie that had mentioned she was also a parent. I had two girls that matriculated from P3 all the way through 12th grade at KCPS, and we took advantage of many of the activities that were offered both at elementary. Some of these are at elementary, some at middle, some at high. Every school's different. So I was just talking to a parent about this the other day. Really just reach out to your school, either a teacher that you know, or even I always made best friends with the school secretary, and she put me in touch with everybody I needed to know. But definitely take advantage of after school activities and extracurriculars. And so just another thing, as a parent in KCPS, which most of you already are, you know that we have ways for you to help your students' education through various parent university nights that they do curriculum, be they math or kind of literacy. And then we have parent organizations as well at the school level, but also at the district level. What I would encourage you, before we go to questions, is if it's not you, because I know the folks that are here are actually existing KCPS parents, if there are folks online that are not current KCPS parents who are interested in looking at our schools, I would encourage you to learn a little bit more. And the best way to do that is start at school websites, but I prefer school social feeds. They tend to be more current. You could see what's going on. You could get a feel of the climate and culture of the school as well. There will be a city school fair coming up on November 8th. That's at the downtown library, and we will all we'll have a presence up on the 3rd floor there. KCPS will, and all of the signature schools. School tours and shadow days. School tours are an opportunity for you as a parent to go in and visit the school during the school day and see what it's like. Shadow days are for our middle and high school students, for them to actually shadow a student at the school that you're interested in learning about. And then speaking with current families from those schools, always one of the best ways to learn. So next, enrollment, real quick. Yeah, I'll click.
All right. So as everyone stated, now it's time to learn how we can enroll in all of these opportunities that was just discussed. So as Jennifer stated, we do have school year 27 that's about to kick off. And so we have several different events that's coming up. So currently, neighborhood school enrollment is an ongoing thing. So we're always enrolling into our neighborhood schools. But we have our signature schools, which is some of it has been discussed tonight. And so our signature school priority window opens in 2 weeks, which will be October 27th through October 31st. So priority window is specifically for our currently enrolled KCPS students. So students who are actively attending have an opportunity for that week to enroll into a signature school. The benefit of that is that they do not have to participate in the lottery. So with our signature schools in our pre-K, it is a lottery that is done in February, just like it's done with the charter schools. However, if a current KCPS student is enrolled right now and they would like to attend a signature school for the next school year, they can enroll, and if they meet the requirements and there's a seat available, then they will bypass the lottery and they will automatically be enrolled. If there's a wait list, then they will automatically be added to that wait list, but they'll have a higher spot compared to after the lottery is ran. So that is Priority Week, October 27th through the 31st. We always have a priority night here in admissions, right here at the BOE. And so that is tentatively, and I will, once we have that final date, we will send that out. But it'll be tentatively that Tuesday, October 28th. And it'll be right here in this room. But for the external and for the public, the application will open on November 8th, and that will be pre-K and signature school application, but that will also be for our neighborhood schools for next year. So if you have a kindergarten student and you know you want them to attend their neighborhood school, November 8th will be the date that that application will open. The deadline for the lottery will be February 13th, so that Friday, February 13th, and then the lottery will be conducted on February 23rd. That is when the lottery will be ran and notifications will be sent out whether or not you were offered a seat or if you were waitlisted. You will have until March 6th to accept the seat, and if you don't accept the seat by March 6th, then that seat will be given to the next person that is on that wait list, if there is a wait list. So how to enroll? Find your neighborhood school. So our website is pretty much the best way. Just go to, we have an area called Find Your School. You simply type in your address, and then it will pull up what your, there we go. You just simply type in your address, you select the grade level, and then it will pull up the school that is your neighborhood school. Now, it won't pull up for signature schools, because with signature schools, you can live anywhere within the KCPS boundaries and receive transportation. But if you want to attend your neighborhood school, or if you want to know what your neighborhood school is, you can go to kcpublicschools.org, /enroll, click find your school, type in the address, select the grade, and then it will show you what your neighborhood school is. And it will show you for elementary, middle, and high school, okay? And so back to how to enroll. So the required documents that you need, you'll need the birth certificate, shot records, proof of residency, and your photo ID and student records. So we just implicated for signature schools, each signature school requires a different type of requirement to get into that school. So you will need school records when you come to enroll if you're enrolling for a signature school. You will need those records. Those records will be reviewed by the school, and then you will be notified whether or not you were accepted or denied. So just back to enroll. Again, you can enroll through our website, or you can enrollkc.org. That is another website that you can use, and that will take you directly to the application. So if you're a current student and you're just trying, if you're a current family and you're just trying to enroll or apply for a signature school, you could do that through the parent portal by just simply going through your parent portal and selecting the school choice. Now, if you are a brand new student, then you will need to complete the application, which you can either do at the website or enrollkc.org. And that is when you will need all the documents that I just discussed. Now, of course, if you ever need any assistance, the admissions office is right down. You actually passed it when you was coming in here. We're open 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can come in anytime. We are more than willing to help you. We have 4 bilingual admissions people in our office that can assist with Spanish interpretation if you need any help. But we are always open to help you with the application. All right, I think we are turning it over for questions.
Yeah. So what I think we'll do, because we're right at 5:31 or 6:31, so sorry. We'll open it up to questions. Do I see any questions from my? I can't do online, unfortunately. So I will say thank you for your time and your attention. For those of you that are here, rather than do the raffle, you guys can just, we'll let you pick from our little offerings up here. But I want to thank you. I want to thank also all the wonderful people in the back. Those are our departments that helped put together the presentation and took time to try to be here to explain all the wonderful things that we have in KCPS. One thing I would ask for the folks that are online and then also here, if you could provide feedback, we used it the last time to add a few things this time, so let us know. Is it too long? Would you like to have new and different information? We need to know from you what you are interested in hearing more about. One thing we did change up, we used to do this pre-K and elementary together on one night and middle and high separately, and we've put them together. Do you like that? Do you not like that? I'd like to hear some feedback on that. But thank you. Appreciate your time. Have a great evening.